Okay, well, welcome to Tribe News. We have our guest today, Jonathan Friedman. He's co-founder and CEO of Demostack. Welcome, Jonathan.
Hey, Paul, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for doing this. This is our inaugural edition of Tribe News, the video version of it.
Wow.
And just a reminder for everyone, Tribe News exists to leverage the power of the Jewish community internationally to support high growth ventures and builders in Israel and beyond. And we're thrilled to have you on. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell us briefly about Demostack and how you got started in particular?
Sure. So Demostack is a platform that helps corporation create, enable on, and run great demos that win deals. If you have a piece of software, you need to showcase it. Showcasing is hard. I mean, you talk about a live demo, everyone goes, ooh, because it's really, really hard to do for very many different reasons.
Right.
But it's such an important piece. You can't sell software if you don't have a demo. So we help kind of control that piece of the sales cycle, and just help increase sales and make it easier, faster, better, and celebrate products really in the way. The idea for Demostack started when I was working in a different company here in Silicon Valley. I was head of product for a whole new product unit, and I was failing hard in trying to showcase my product, and I couldn't figure out why.
Mhm.
We had a great product, and initially I showed us, like the company, it was a product for finance team. So we had our finance team, and I logged in and showed like, look how our finance team is using this. Amazing, right? And I had these stories like, look, they had this problem, we solved like that. We had this problem, we solved like that. And the demo was fantastic. But soon after, they were like, yeah, you can't do that anymore. The finance team was like, you can move millions in this product, like go away, we don't want you. And legal and compliance were like, there's an employee information here, you don't do that.
Mhm.
And I felt bad. Like now we had more sellers, it wasn't just me. So like having people in the system, and I was like, okay, I get it. I can't be here anymore. They were like, thank you for building this. Now get out. And so we onboarded what every company does. I was like, okay, what should we do? Let's onboard a fake company. And we onboarded Pied Piper from the show, Silicon Valley. And
Mhm.
we're like, okay, done. We have a demo environment. High five. We thought that was it. But actually, it wasn't. It only started a really hard road because, hey, you have a fake company. There's no data inside. It's empty. Imagine I would try to sell, I don't know, Facebook to you, and I
Mhm.
would show you an empty account, no friends, no messages. What am I showing you? How can I convince you to come and sign up? So we had the same issue.
Mhm.
And not being able to figure that kind of set me on the path to ask, okay, what would the perfect demo look like, and what's needed to get there? And that started the path to Demostack.
Very cool. That's awesome. Well, I know that pain firsthand. It's very real. But there's a lot of companies out there that are thinking, okay, well, we have a demo. It seems to work well enough, or this is something that we should be able to figure out on our own. We should figure out how to build it ourselves. What would you say to them?
Yeah, absolutely. That's our biggest competitor. I always say, like, we compete against Acme.
Hmm.
Acme being some call it Wayne Industries or Pied Piper, like I did, or so I sometimes I publish like our biggest list of competitors: Acme, Wayne Industries, Pied Piper, and Dunder Mifflin. Whatever different company. I love to hear the different companies that people invented. But
Right.
anyone who goes down that path, I would say, look, the biggest insight I had is that the demo is something completely different than your product. Your product is built for usage, right? It wants like time to flow normally. It wants user control. It wants it wants to be secure, right? It wants like the data to be normalized, right? Nothing crazy. The demo wants the complete opposite. The demo wants to be open, shareable. You want to move forward in time, backwards in time. You want to go between users to tell the story. Here's how an admin looks at it. Here's how you. So if you think about it, these are completely different roadmaps, and actually not only that, orthogonal to each other. So they pull in different directions.
Mhm.
So as a company, if you decide to build your own demo environment, you're gonna need to handle it like a whole different product. If you're willing to do that and put resources, great. But I would say, like, why? Why not? If you have two engineers to put on this, why not build your features for the customers that are waiting for it? I'm sure you have things they want. Let
Right.
us take care of showcasing. We also, if you want to put engineer, we have a software where they can go in and, you know, they could leverage us and just do way more in the time they would spend building it on their own, right? And scale it. And we have so many other things. So in any case, either you decide to do it as a whole product, and I would be like, wow, you're not building Salesforce or CRM.
Hmm.
Why build a demo environment? It's a completely different thing. It looks like your product, but it's completely different than your product.
Right. That makes sense. So I know from having run a small company, that was a SaaS business. Every week, every day, practically, we would be hit up by different vendors trying to sell us things. And so how do you handle that when people say, boy, I can't afford this. I'm a startup. I'm supposed to be scrappy.
Mhm.
I can't afford to spend more money on something like this. How do you handle that?
Well, we say two things. Like, if a startup is tiny and it's just three people and a dog, I would say, like, you know what, just do whatever you need to get by. You don't need Demostack. You don't need that. Honestly, almost any software. Very basic. You need email and you need,
Mhm.
WhatsApp and then maybe like a few developer tools. Don't buy anything.
Yeah.
If you're bigger than that and you have a few people now showcasing and need to get leads, you're in the market, you need to showcase your product again and again. It's not just a CEO like showing it like I started with. I would say, like, look, you're going to need to build a demo environment. There's just no way. You're either going to build it and put engineering time. You might not calculate the engineering time, but you're going to invest it.
Yeah.
And it's not a one-time project. A demo environment starts decaying from the moment it's built
Hmm.
because your product changes, right? And your demo does it. So you either have to put engineering time on it, and I would say like that's always more expensive than just buying a tool.
Right.
And plus, there is the revenue side. Like, hey, you need those leads. You need invest. How much is a good demo worth to you in an investment meeting? A
Hmm.
demo that goes well in a conference. Right? How many more leads is that versus like, I can't show because the internet's not working. So no
Right.
demo. Oopsie.
Right.
It starts to make sense because the demo is such a deep thing in a funnel.
Hmm.
The road to money, to monetary translation is very quick. You don't have to be like, okay, how does it translate to my bottom line? It has both the cost savings piece and the revenue acceleration piece to it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And so if people are interested in taking a look at it, I know you have a nice website and I saw a video that explains the value proposition and at a high level. If they're interested in taking a look at it, what should they do?
Yeah, our website is definitely the best resource. We invested a lot in making it. Thank you for saying it's nice. We invested a lot in trying to make it nice and easy and attainable. We also had an event yesterday, actually. I don't know when this is published, but really recently we have it called Demo HQ Day, where you can come and kind of hear us talk about the problems. It's not we're not selling demo science necessarily. We talk about the industry and the issues and having demo environments. You can always come there. We have some of it now recorded and on our website and or
Hmm.
other places. So come join us in our demo HQ days.
Okay.
I think those are really, really well done. And if you have more questions, feel free to find me on LinkedIn, message me. Always happy to talk to enthusiasts that think about this stuff. If
Okay.
you have anything nerdy to say or features you wish you would have, happy to entertain any conversation if you're passionate about this as me.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. That's terrific. Let's talk a little bit about you. So I detect a slight accent, and I gather from your LinkedIn profile that you served in the IDF for a period of time. Can you tell us about your background?
Yeah, so I was born in Israel. I'm Israeli. I moved to the States about 8 years ago, um, for a different startup, actually. So I kind of, yeah, thought it would be a few years, kind of ended up staying. Um, but when I was younger, I also lived in Holland. So I've had kind of international background. I lived overall 9 years of my life in Holland, 8 years in the States, and the rest in Israel. So I guess if when you ask me where I'm from, it's always complicated. If you say where's home, I guess Israel is home. Um, but the US has been very good to me, and the ability here to be unbounded and kind of having the American dream and ambition and to go as far as you can is very, very compelling. I
Yeah.
think especially for Israelis that have big ambitions but sometimes are in a in a small country,
Yeah, yeah.
has different distractions too.
That's very cool. And you're not a tiny company. I mean, you've raised a significant amount of money. Can I ask how many employees you have at this point?
Yeah, I would say we're still tiny. I mean, we have just around 50 employees.
Okay.
Tech, I think, has gone through a lot of changes, drastic changes, where it was bloated in many ways, and there was a lot of waste. And now the whole promise of tech was like, hey, tech companies can do a lot with smaller teams. What ended up being in the last few years was like, oh, they had massive teams, so where's the efficiency from? And I think we're kind of getting back to like, let's, you have to do things, and only when you figure out real skill with technology, then you hire a few more people when the business really needs it. So revenue per employee suddenly became a thing where wasn't nobody talked about that a year or two ago. So
Right.
so yeah, we're small, and I like it that it's nicer to be in a small team, honestly,
Yeah.
in many, many ways. Yeah.
Are your employees mostly in the US or distributed across the world? Where are they?
They're distributed. We have a lot of our workforce is in Israel, especially R&D. We have a few people in Serbia, and the rest, kind of all the go-to-market is, or most of the go-to-market is in the US, distributed. In Israel, we have an office too,
Okay.
in Tel Aviv. You're welcome to come join us if you come back. I'm actually flying to Israel next week,
Oh, awesome.
uh,
That's
so I get
great.
to be in the office.
And where are you now? Do you live in San Francisco or on the peninsula?
Yeah, San Francisco in the city.
Okay. You like it?
Look, San Francisco it's a crazy place. On one hand, I mean, I love it. It's in the fact that you are in the middle of Silicon Valley. I was always entrepreneur at heart. I want to build tech companies, and there's no other place like this in the world. Every
Yeah.
time it's being discounted, it comes back. And it was a SaaS in the future, in the past. Now it's AI. And hey, where's the best AI company? Here, of course. So it's always here.
Yeah.
And every time it's a different cycle, it goes through boom and bust cycles. San Francisco has its issues. I think as a city, if you look like at Tel Aviv and San Francisco, I'm like, the potential of San Francisco is amazing versus what it manages to do because of mismanagement.
Yeah.
And that also always makes me sad. So I think it's mixed in terms of like, it's a lot here, great people, great opportunities, everything you want, and fantastic weather and like easy going. But just the potential of it as a city, I think, is missed a little bit. And for that makes me a little bit sad.
Yeah, I can understand that. I was just there this weekend. We had a nice time, but it was a little bit rainy.
Mm.
Um, all right, a couple more questions for you. What tool process are you currently using for productivity yourself or your teams that you just think is fantastic, aside from Demostack?
Um, I use a lot of Notion, both for myself and Demostack actually. My internal use cases I think are really, really good. Maybe one example I'll give is um, even like grocery shopping, right? You have lists sometimes, but you delete and you have new lists all the time. So me and my significant other, we have a list where um, we actually have a check mark on different items, and you can either cross or select us from the different supermarkets here in the US. You have to go to different supermarkets to get everything you want. So
Yeah.
imagine you have a list that you just like either check or uncheck,
Mhm.
and for every supermarket. So you buy the same things 99% of the time.
Yeah.
So just having that, so Notion is really helpful in building these lists, have them in some kind of a hierarchy that makes sense, and
Yeah.
being able to find it with your partner instead of saying, hey, where is it? Where's the document? Where's this thing? Where's the thing for the bank? Like we have like lists essentially for every little thing,
Yeah.
and it makes a personal life much, much easier. Just like no friction in that piece.
Very cool. That's awesome. Um, and do you have any advice for people that are just getting started, founders, builders that are just getting started? What advice would you give them?
Um, First, I would say don't do it. And then for the people that drop off, great. The people that stay and would still do it. I would say a couple of things. First, look for massive signals, meaning, if someone's like, "Oh yeah, I guess cute, come back to me in like 2 months," that means like it's like a strong no. because you're looking for a jumping up in the chair of like, hey, don't go from the office. I need to call my boss. Stay here. You know, that kind of the signal you want from the early customer, the early people. It needs to be a real problem. You need to be surprised by how much they react to it. If you get there, because nobody will tell you, look, your idea sucks. You know, some people, honest people, but honestly, they wouldn't. Most people will be like, yeah, that sounds really cool. We could use it. You know, we could use it. That means a hard no. Okay, that's the level. I want to set the bar at that being a hard no. And
Right.
then, so in order to get a yes, you need like what I described before. So that's one. And two, I would say, um, um, try to really be prudent with what you do in the early stages. You need to feel like everything is starving in the beginning. And I think actually the new market, the way it's built right now, it helps people be smart with money versus raising a lot and trying to conquer markets that are not necessarily there. If there was a correlation between money raised and success of companies, you would see a different tech market right now, right? And there's so many companies that raise a lot and will never ever make it back, even if they're successful.
Yeah.
And that's really a shame because the product did end up working. There are a million examples of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, be prudent as much as you can, as long as you can, and just spend as least amount of money that you can. Don't spend unless you really have to. So don't spend any dollar. Try to do everything for free for the
Yeah.
longest time.
That's
Yeah.
great advice. Very wise. Very wise. Okay. So how can people help you? So besides calling you up, hitting your website and becoming a customer, um, like introductions, what industries are you trying to get into? What kinds of companies are you looking for introductions to?
So we work really well. I mean, B2B SaaS is where we reign supreme, right? If you know a company that needs to share their screen commercially, meaning like we're on a Zoom call right now, if I need to share my screen in order to do business with you, then Demostack can really help because that needs to be managed. I'm looking, so B2B SaaS is usually where it's at, where they need to share their screen. It can be different other things. We also talk to banks and insurance companies. So there's, I wouldn't say only, but mostly SaaS, and especially like cybersecurity companies, which obviously there are a lot of Israeli and Jewish people involved, which is great because that's a really good use case. They need to show a demo where they're like, you're being attacked. The enemy's coming from here, from there, and look, our software is preventing. So that's a really good use case for us. Financial products are great. HR products are great. Healthcare, because if you want to demo a healthcare product and you actually have patient information that's HIPAA, you cannot demo it, right? It's not funny. You're going to jail if you do. So we can help like hide that information. So you can actually demo your product, and that's like huge. So there are many different use cases. I would love that. And yeah, as a startup, we're also fundraising from time to time. So if anyone is interested to fundraise, happy to have the discussions. We don't have a round open right now, but things move very quickly sometimes. So happy to talk about that as well.
That's great. And are you hiring right now? And if so, where can people find out about job opportunities?
Yeah, on our website, we hire for people all the time. Jobs, I don't know when this will be published, but if I say about something now, it might not be relevant tomorrow, and then we might have another thing. So check our careers page and drop me a note if you came through Tribe, so I know where I know you're part of this community. But yeah, we're always looking for great people.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. This has been super insightful, Jonathan. And I think people are going to be really excited to meet you and learn more about Demostack. And if they want more information, they should go to demostack.com, right?
Correct.
Okay. Awesome. Well, this will be published soon. We'll be in touch. Okay.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you. Take care. Shalom.
Yeah. Shalom.